What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Turnpike Titans podcast. I am joined, as always, with my two co-hosts, Vinny and Jarrett. Fellas, no matter what happens, no matter what adversity we face, it just seems like you go into every one of these games each week with the full expectation of winning, and that is exactly what this team's doing. And they're doing it in historic fashion, and they just continue to prove themselves right and not prove anyone else wrong, as Kevin Byard says each week. And he Keith Byard, a.k.a. Kevin Byard. But this game, another ugly one, which we all are very familiar with as Titan fans. But at the end of the day, only one statistic matters, and that is the W. So let's jump right into it. Instant reactions as far as that 60-minute game we witnessed yesterday. Start us off, Jared.
First of all, you got a testament of coaching, man. Braves has these guys no matter what. If it's a practice guy coming in, or a roster guy, they're ready to play, and that's really been the key to success so far. The offense continues to struggle. I know we're not at full strength, but we got points yesterday when we needed to get points. Like I said, it still wasn't ugly. I mean, it still wasn't perfect. A little ugly. I still think Foreman is definitely the running back with the hot hand. McNichols, he's down on the depth chart, in my opinion. The defense yesterday was a little sloppy. It was bend not break. A Trevor Siemian Saints team who had really nobody on the field yesterday, with even Alec and Kamara out, moved the ball pretty well. So you got to give him some credit. And all in all, this team is thriving on next man up. Tierra Tart goes down. Naquan Jones, your boy Vinny, he comes in, records his first sack yesterday. Julio Jones goes out right into IR. Marcus Johnson steps right in, 5 catches, 100 yards. That's huge. We've been looking for, wide receiver help. Even, Sal's been trying to go for Odell Beckham, but that's here and done.
Yeah.
But, Marcus Johnson steps up. He has a big game. And, David Long, our unsung hero of the defense so far, he goes down, and Monty Rice comes up and leads the team in tackles. Like, where the hell did that come out of? Yeah. So, this team is special, in my opinion. And going forward, we're just going to get healthier and healthier. But all in all, we just played our toughest schedule thus far through 10 games, and our Tennessee Titans are 8-2, through 10 games. Who the hell would have thought?
Not me.
So let's literally continue this ride and enjoy it, So
that's it, Vinny.
Well, unlike used to, I seen this 8-2 coming the whole way. I had it pegged the whole time. I even knew we were going to lose to the Jets.
Oh, yeah. That's why you paid money to come out.
Yeah,
to watch them lose.
I mean, they're only in the tri-state area every so often, so I can go up north to fucking Taylor Ham country every now and then, and see the boys. But you guys really helped me out yesterday. I told you I had my girlfriend's niece's baptism, so I could not be that guy in church on the phone, but I was that guy every now and then at the luncheon. My girlfriend's brother pulled up a Sunday ticket on his phone, and I got to see last few drives, and mixed emotions. We're not going to win the Super Bowl playing the way we did yesterday, but obviously the most important thing is a win. We cannot allow teams that we are better than to stay in games. I know, obviously, the circumstances. We were banged up. We've been banged up. I saw a stat today. We used 82 players so far this year, the second most in NFL history. So a win is a win is a win. But, you guys are diehards as well as me. You know that this team very rarely makes it easy on you, and it usually comes down to it. We might not, win the Super Bowl playing the way we did yesterday, but we kept the distance with the 1 seed. We kept the distance with the division, which is the short-term goal at hand. And if we can get healthier down the stretch, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But takeaways from yesterday were that, a win is great, but I was underwhelmed with the overall performance.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to give you a lot of credit, Vinny, and certainly when I meet your girlfriend, I'm going to make sure to tell her to be very thankful and grateful to have a man like you in her life, because for you to pick a christening over Titans football is very admirable, and I really, she's got a keeper in you, and I'll definitely make sure to tell her that.
Please, because she doesn't. I don't know how she feels, and I need you to reiterate it to her sometimes.
I certainly will. Certainly will. So yeah, just to lean on what you both said, 100%. It was an underwhelming victory, and again in this league, and I don't remember who said it, but somebody said when you critique how a team's winning, then you're definitely doing something right, and that is where we're at this point. You know, we have a 6-game winning streak, and we're getting the opportunity and the privilege to critique how this team won and try to, you know, give our best insight on how to do better. And that's a great luxury to have. But nonetheless, again, yes, this was a very underwhelming performance from our offense. As much as I appreciate and am very happy with how Marcus Johnson picked up the slack, we're not winning a game in January if we have to rely on Marcus Johnson to have 100 yards receiving. It's not going to happen. This is the second straight week we failed to get A.J. Brown involved, which is also a major concern. I understand we played 2 really good defenses, 2 elite corners on him for 2 straight games, but he's an elite wide receiver. And you still see Devontae Adams cooking folks no matter what they throw at him. So we need to be able to get this man the ball. And, you know, his biggest play yesterday was that fumble recovery. And that's clearly something that is something we need to emphasize going forward. That being said, defense, yeah, it was bend, don't break. I can definitely agree with that. But there wasn't a whole lot of bend. I mean, when you look at it, the way this front four is still able to get pressure on damn near every down. I think you just saw Trevor Siemian's best performance as a pro, realistically. You know, this guy's still a professional athlete. As bad as he is, and he's not a good quarterback, he still knows how to throw a football. He wouldn't be on the NFL roster if he didn't know how to throw a football, and he threw a lot of really good balls. Chris Jackson had his worst day as a Titan.
After we just praised him last week.
And, you know, it's going to happen. He's still a kid.
You mushed him.
Yeah, we mushed him. He's a kid, but he had an awful, awful day. So all these folks that were thinking about benching Janoris Jenkins once Fulton got healthy, I think we all need to simmer down on that because, again, Jenkins isn't the best corner in the world in 2021, but he can tackle, and we really didn't call his name too much except for that first touchdown. So, you know, Chris Jackson's got to get in the film room and figure shit out. But overall, this defense was in control most of this game. So let's get right into what do you folks think? What folks, like you guys are 100 years old. What do you two think is the recipe we're going to need to cook up in order to start getting real production from the offense, Jarrett?
I mean, there's really no really key recipe. I mean, we are a running team. So, all right, yeah, we're getting into the easier, you know, part of the schedule. So we have to really get this running game going with those defenses. So, you know, Julio's going to, you know, come back. You know, it'll be Julio and AJ, but I really think this running game really needs to start going. Our defense is there. I'm not worried about that at all. Going into the later half of the schedule with the easier teams, I think we got to get the running game going, not 40 yards a game.
Yeah. Another thing before you go, and I forgot to touch on this earlier. One thing we also need to put into consideration is, yeah, we lost Derrick Henry for the last 2 weeks, but we faced 2 really good defenses. So the fact that we're still able to get enough offense with the fact that we're playing really good defenses is promising. And I think we got to use this game coming up as our game to get comfortable offensively because we know Houston is an absolute joke on all phases of football. And I think we're going to be able to do that.
So were the Jets, though, Sal. So were the Jets. So don't say that too fucking loud, cuz.
Yeah, but this wasn't the defense that we have now. This defense did not show up that day on October 1st. So this is a completely different defense, and we didn't have our 2 best receivers. So there's a lot of variables that you need to put in as far as why we lost to the Jets, and it's still unacceptable. Don't get me wrong. But A, this isn't the same defense, and B, when you're missing your 2 of your 3 best weapons, it makes it a little one-dimensional, and we still took them in overtime. So, and now you're seeing every good team, every single quote-unquote good, great, elite team in the NFL has a bad loss. They do. And you can even make a point for Arizona because even though they didn't have Kyler Murray, they got embarrassed by Carolina. So
The Bills with the Jaguars.
Exactly. And now Baltimore, Miami. The fact that our worst days are coming off of week 4, that's a promising statistic. So, Vin, what do you think we need to do to get this offense rolling?
Well, I want to be more gloom than dooming with this topic right here because I'll tell you what. Last week we put up our offense put up 21 points yesterday. Put up 23. We are without our running back. We are without Julio. Our offensive line has been banged up. So honestly, I think we all need to thank ourselves that we have Mr. Ryan Tannehill. I don't think he gets enough love. This kid is making it work with a limited offensive line, with a limited talent around him. And, I'm not worried because it's like you said, if our biggest issue is, we have to be critiqued the way we win, that is a luxury to have. I think it's going to come with time because we have players that haven't played together all year. We are mixing and matching everybody from the likes of Marcus Johnson and Mason Kinsey to Bobby Hart, who got cut this afternoon. I don't know if you guys saw, but I think they must have
Good riddance.
They must have listened to the pod and realized that these 3 greasers might know what they're talking about a little bit. But yeah, I think it's just going to come with time, and I think we also need to be realistic with the fact that this running game is never going to be what we want it to be. We were spoiled with Derrick Henry, and these 3 backs, if you combine, maybe AP in his prime, but right now you could combine all their best attributes, and it's not going to be even close to Henry.
No, absolutely not.
So I think it's going to come with time. It's going to come with reps, but I think we have to pat our quarterback on the shoulder because he's doing a hell of a job of. His numbers aren't gaudy at all this year. He's having easily the worst statistical year he's had since he's been on the team. But the kid finds ways to win. He's underrated still as a runner, which I don't get. I saw a stat that since he became the starter, only Lamar Jackson, I think, has more rushing touchdowns than him.
Josh Allen.
So, I mean, he's making it work, man. And, I never thought I'd see the day where I had this much love for Ryan Tannehill, but he's really resurrected his career. He won all of us over, and I think we need to be thankful for him. But to answer your question, Sal, without talking in circles again, it's going to take time. We still have, 7 games left. We will get healthier, knock on wood, and it's going to take just these players playing together because, I mean, like I said, we've used 82 players in the last 10 weeks, and, it takes time to gel. So the fact that we're getting wins still is a testament to what Jared said earlier on, our coaching staff. But like I said, it's going to take time for these guys to mesh.
Yeah.
I mean, at 8-2, like it's tough to be mad.
Yeah,
yeah, I know. But like this team right now is injury prone. In the last 2 seasons, the 2, free agents that got brought into this team have been hurt and they haven't been on the field. Bud Dupree gets hurt yesterday. Julio Jones is back on the IR.
Yeah,
last year it was Clowney.
With Dupree is
abdominal. No, we'll hear more tomorrow.
They're going to keep it real close to the vest until close to the game day. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not a hernia where we have to it goes out for 4-6 weeks. So we got to keep our fingers crossed.
Again, testament to the next man up mentality.
100%.
Monty Rice showed up yesterday in a big way, and you definitely your stock rises in Monty Rice. So after yesterday's performance, kid's a rookie, starting to get playing time, making the absolute best use of it. He's a big dude. He's a flyer, and he attacks the football, and that's what you need. And we're very lucky to have the linebacking crew that we have. They're all ball hawks. They're all strong, and we have good depth at linebacker, which you could have argued that we didn't about 5-6 weeks ago. So that's another good luxury to have.
He'll be starting next year too, so that's a good sign because
definitely, yeah.
Jayon and Rashawn are probably most likely gone.
And realistically, from a logistical standpoint, they probably should be.
Yeah.
I'd be a little bit more hesitant to give up on Jayon, but
same.
I just don't think the price tag he's going to ask for is going to be what
he's going to get. He's going to get north of
willing to pay.
He's going to get close to $10 million a year, I bet.
And you got to pay AJ and Jeffrey.
I mean, I don't know about that just yet because he he isn't really flying off the paper this year.
But he's coming off injury in his last few years. I mean, when it came to our linebacking core, he made plays. He was, all over. So
Yeah.
he might not get 10 million, but he's going to command, probably 7 to 10 million.
Well, what is he getting now?
1 year for 5 he's on right now.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say Evans is definitely gone.
No, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
What-
so
what-
I'd be hesitant to let go of Jay on too, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he takes another short-term deal because he really likes it here.
Yeah,
I'm
but
a
you guys got to
strong
remember
believer in that.
the cap is going up to 218 or 215 million dollars. So we're gonna have a lot of money.
We are. Well, let's put it this way. If it takes letting Jayon Brown go in order to obtain and keep Harold Landry, you got to do that.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
You got to
100%.
do that. And, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We're looking to try to win a Super Bowl this year. And if we have the luxury of having a Super Bowl and then, relaxing a little bit next year and just enjoying.
We'll talk free agency talk in March.
Yeah. There's a lot of time to get into that. But just to touch on a little bit what you said, man, about Ryan Tannehill. My personal opinion, and anyone who follows me on any social media platform knows that I have come a very, very long way when it comes to, my viewpoint and my confidence in Ryan Tannehill. You could argue the first tweet or video that I made that picked up traction and got me in communication with more Titan fans was the one after that.
The Burrow one? The Burrow one?
No, maybe, yeah, I probably touched on Joe Burrow in that video because at that point I thought we were going to be top 3 pick, and we were going to probably lose out and be able to get Joe Burrow. Obviously, that's not what happened. We were a game away from the Super Bowl, but from where I was that day to where I am now is like 180 would be an understatement. But with that being said, I do have to share my opinion as far as the fact that I'm a little concerned at this point with some of the decisions he makes on a daily basis now. It looks like we're going to have to possibly deal with, which I hope isn't the case, because again, these last 2 weeks we faced really good defenses. But, I mean, he basically threw an arm punt in the end zone yesterday, which we were very lucky to get called back on a questionable roughing the passer call, but it is what it is. We've had bad calls yesterday as well. Against us, but that was just an unacceptably terrible throw by him, and we're starting to see that happen almost on a week-to-week basis now. So, is that because the offensive line isn't giving him any comfort right now with how in and out, and Taylor Lewan needs to come out, and Roger Saffold's taking a little step back. He didn't have a good day yesterday. We don't know that, but the bottom line is he is the leader of this football team and the leader of this offense. And if we want to win a game in February, he's going to have to be a key piece whether Derrick Henry's here or not. And we need him to get back to his form from last year and the year prior. And what that's going to take, I don't know. Maybe a nice little floater Houston at home game gets that rolling. We can only hope. But I have to admit, I'm a tad concerned moving forward because he really hasn't wowed me in any way. And we're going on back-to-back weeks where he's under 200-yard passing when we don't even really have a running game. We need more. That's it. We need more. And I still have full confidence in him, and I can't state that firmly enough. But, any Titan fan who's content with the way he's been playing over the past 2 or 3 weeks, I would really question that because, we've been basically bailed out with a really solid defense for 2 weeks now. We have.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I hear you. And obviously the offensive line is an issue. We know that. But then you got to keep in mind, we don't have Derrick Henry. We don't have Julio Jones. And when we did have him, we're getting a shell of himself. Let's be real. He is not, I don't know. Hopefully this isn't what the rest of his career is like, but he's been a shell of himself. AJ's been banged up. And let's be real, the last couple of years, I know we didn't have Julio Jones, but Corey Davis was a solid 2 receiver for AJ. We designed a lot of plays for my favorite tight end in the world, Jonnu Smith. So we had a lot going for Tannehill and support-wise last few years. This year it's been a little rougher. But why I'm not too worried is because, one, we're still winning. And two, you said it last week, Sal, he's not going to let an interception fuck his day up. He has, I think, the most game-winning drives in the league since he's, taken over as a Titans quarterback, which takes balls. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that come to mind when you think of, like, maybe not the best regular season, most flashy, gaudy numbers, but when it mattered, it showed up. Your Eli Manning's in his prime showed up in big games. Your Joe Flacco in his prime showed up in big games, so Tannehill's got balls. He's proved it time and time again. He's doing it with the poorest offensive line. He's doing it with 1.5 receivers, basically, and a running game that I don't think any defense is worried about right now. I don't think any defensive coordinator who's playing is just saying, we need to key on Deontay Foreman and Jeremy McNichols on third down and AP on first down. So I don't think, there's any defense that's planning to stop our run. I think everyone knows that they need to stop Tannehill in the passing game, and that's what they're honing in on. But we've put up 20-plus points the last 2 weeks, too. So, I'm not getting ready to get frustrated with the kid by any means. If he was chucking up 2-3 interceptions a game, I get it. But, yeah, he's had a few questionable throws, but this is the NFL. This happens. I mean, look at Mahomes besides last night, his last few weeks have been dog shit. His season's been dog shit. So that's the NFL, man. He's won me over just like he's won you guys over, but I'm not frustrated with him. I'm not to the point where I'm mad at him. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's not selfishly. I mean, we're all selfishly wanting him to, and the passing game to, exceed expectations. But I understand where you're coming from, Sal. But like I said, he's got different receivers every week. Our tight ends are zero besides your boy Swaim. The offensive line.
I wouldn't be mad if we cut Firsker tomorrow.
Pruitt had a nice catch though. He had one catch and it was a touchdown. Obviously, his production is nothing right now.
The biggest disappointment of the whole year is Anthony Firkser right now. By all means, that's what's killing us. And it is a new offense. I mean, with tweaks and everything like that. But listen, we're gonna get healthy. It's the easy part of the schedule now. Let's see what happens now. Like we said last week, let's see what happens now with the easy part of the schedule. If we get the run game going, we get the pass game going above, 200, 300 yards, we'll see what happens now. But let everybody get healthy and we'll be all right, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was basically just talking on the fact of games where you lose, you go home. That's what I'm not worried. I still have full expectations for us to get the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Oh, hell yeah.
Full expectations for, him to do enough to win another 6 games for us. I'm 6. Yeah, about 6. Yeah. What is that, 8, 9 more to go? Yeah, you should be able to win 6 more games. It's just more on a standpoint where, is there going to be a time where he's going to throw a bad interception that can cost us a game and our chances to win a Super Bowl?
Well, listen, if we're not completely healthy by the playoffs, yeah, it's going to be tough for him to carry us for sure. But, that's another conversation for another day. If we're healthy by then, kids got.
Yeah, but how can you say that when you already said he's got 12 comeback fourth quarter comebacks in the league, and he really doesn't mess up in the fourth quarter when a game's on the line.
No, I understand that, but we need to understand this as well. And I don't like to play the what if game, but it's a valid point in this argument.
No, 100%.
That interception in the end zone, if that is not called roughing a passer, that changes the whole game. Okay, because that gives New Orleans the ball on the 20 with well enough time to get in for a score. Not to mention we scored a touchdown on that drive.
Yeah.
And then, you got a whole new game with New Orleans getting the ball back. Now, mind you, special teams stepped up. We got that big play. I don't remember the guy's name. Forgive me, who made the play on the kickoff in the second half. Kudos to you, sir.
Dylan Cole.
Dylan Cole. Yes, sir. Cole World. But these are plays there, and I think correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we have another interception called back against the Rams, or am I mistaken?
I don't remember.
Either way, I'm very confident in Ryan Tannehill. I'm just bringing this up for sake of discussion. He's got to stop making awful, terrible decisions. The interception against the Rams was a miserable throw into triple coverage. Can't be done at an NFL level. The arm punt yesterday can't happen. Okay, just can't happen. I know Mahomes is doing it, But I'm saying we have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl this year, and he can't be doing that. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And I think he's going to get better. He was sick yesterday as well. We can't leave that out. I had there's a little stomach bug going on around Nashville. But
Hallway, I bet, man.
Yeah. Can we just talk about at that time in the game? I mean, the Saints did miss 2 extra points. Would that have been a difference maker in that game? Were we down?
First of all, they don't miss those two. Wait, first of all, they don't miss those 2 extra points.
We're going
overtime. We're going overtime
again.
That would have, ideally for me, I probably would have wanted that for my big Titans minus 2.5 bet. But that's for a separate show. Maybe we'll do another sportsbook show. But listen, I'm not worried about it. I really am not. We have so many cupcake games coming up at the end of this fall and start of the winter where he can start to get
any of them for granted. Not to cut.
No. Of course not. But listen, this Saints game was
huge.
Trap game city.
We were talking about that text message all day.
Exactly. And for the past, you could argue 10 years, Tennessee's not winning that game. And they did. So it's a promising win for a team that has everyone believing, and I think they all believe in themselves, like I said last week. And like I said, I'm confident that the small doubt I have in Tannehill will completely be wiped off once we get into the later months. Moving forward, we didn't do this last few weeks, but I want to start doing it. You can call whatever you want, your tighten ups, tighten downs, heroes, villains, whatever you want to use as terminology. I want both of you to give me a big hero in the game and a big villain in the game. Obviously, we won, so we don't want to get too hard on anyone. But, someone that needs to pick it up next week. Jarrett, you start us off.
I wrote it down when I was watching the game. The hero of the game for me right now for stepping up is Marcus Johnson. Comes in, the 5 catches, 100 yards. That's huge. Compliments AJ well, even though AJ had 1 catch. And I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it until he starts making plays. The zero of this team or the villain of this team right now is Anthony Ferguson. This guy needs to step up and play. Like, it's killing us.
None of you North Jersey guys know nobody in Ferguson's family. He's a Manalapan guy. You don't get a hold of this fucking kid and talk to him or something.
He's in between all of us.
But no, I would say obviously I didn't watch the game. You guys know I was not available yesterday. But from what I'm reading on Twitter and highlights that I saw, I'll give a big shout out to Monty Rice. Say he was the hero of the game, stepped up big. And then the zero of the game, I'm going to continue to be tough on him. I think that's how he needs to be coached, and I hope eventually he hears me talk shit on him. So, yeah, you know who I'm about to say.
I know what you're saying.
Taylor Lewan, man, this kid, he can't stay in a game. And you want to say, what was it yesterday? He had cramps. He had to get taken out. Well, that's because he's not in shape because he hasn't been playing. So he needs to string together a handful of good games and get it together, because guess what? If we're missing a piece offensively, God forbid it's Henry or Julio, we are going to need to give our boy Tannehill extra time, because the reason why he's making bad throws right now is because he's pressing, because we are limited talent-wise. We're going to need everything we can get from our offensive line, especially our left tackle. So I'm going to continue to be tough on the kid, because I know he has the fucking ability to be arguably the top tackle in the league, left tackle, definitely top 3, top 5. So he needs to get it together.
Yeah, I agree 100% with both of you. For me, 100%, I can't not say Marcus Johnson for the hero. I mean, without him, we're not winning that game. I don't think anyone would really argue that point. No matter how good the defense played, he had 100 yards in a game where, what did we have total yards? Like 260 yards in total yards. So he's got to be the number one for me as far as our villain's concerned. And I'm sorry if this is something that, I mean, again, anyone who knows me knows how much I absolutely love this guy. And I have to really go over the film with a fine comb to see if it was him or if it was the coverage or whatnot. But I mean, AJ Brown, I'm not going to call him a villain, but he's got to do more. He's got to find a way to get open. we need to find ways to get him the ball, and we're not doing that. He's our best weapon offensively by a landslide, and we're into back-to-back weeks where he's been non-existent, really. So, again, I don't want to say it's his fault because I don't know how things are playing out in the game and how he's being covered. I'd have to look over the film, closely, but at the end of the day, he's still a high caliber player. And when you're a high caliber player and you're in tough games, you got to find ways to make plays. And he needs to do what he needs to do to get to be more open or be more vocal to Downing and figure out ways to get him the ball. You could certainly make an argument for Chris Jackson as well. And realistically, he's probably a deserving guy because he just was a complete mess.
We're not expecting much out of him anyway.
Well, no, most people do now. Most people consider him to be a high caliber player. But again, when we are trying to get better and better on offense, you got to throw him in there because another week less than stellar performance offensively. So, and he's our best player right now offensively. So AJ, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I think a good comparison right here, and you both will agree with the way Sal feels about AJ Brown is the same way Sal felt about Justin Simmons. Jesus Christ!
Uh-oh. He fell into the trap.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my God!
The media is in your head.
Can you mute him?
Oh, I had to mute myself. Jesus
Guess what?
Christ.
This is getting clipped, my friend. Be ready.
Leave it in there.
No, leave it in there. I'm clipping it for Twitter tomorrow. What do you mean leave it in there? I'm saying clip like I'm making a video out of this tomorrow morning.
All right. Get the fuck off my back. Anyways, that's how you felt about. I'm sorry, Mr. Jeffrey Simmons. That's how you felt about him, Sal? When you went on Twitter and people were fucking coming out your throats for saying he has the ability, he's been pretty good, he needs to be better. That's how you feel about AJ Brown, no?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I made a joke on Twitter today, which I'm actually looking at it as we speak. Some guy, you guys will see it when we're done. Some guy went out of his way to create a GIF of me from when I went on the rant about when people were like making comments about me that don't even know who I am. And he captioned it, and there's like animated letters on it. It's fucking next level. But I made a joke on Twitter today, and I said, listen, can I take credit for Jeffrey Simmons' emergence? Because let's be honest, folks, and I'm joking. I'm definitely not taking credit for it in any way, shape, or form. But I know both of you basically agree with me. We semi-called him out and said we needed more out of him after the Jets game, and now look at us. We're 6 wins in a row later. He is, I think, solidified himself as a Pro Bowler, All-Pro, and sometimes you just got to ask more of your players. I'm not even talking to us as fans. I'm talking about, coaching themselves. And we know A.J. Brown we've seen him go through some things. Obviously, you saw his social media posts, which we give so much respect to him for being vocal about that. And
definitely on that.
we hope that whatever his demons were, that they've been eliminated and he's able to enjoy his life as he should. But he needs to do some more. He needs to do a little more. There's nothing wrong with saying it. I don't want to hear the excuses about what coverage is getting. The guy's supposed to be a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and Pro Bowl wide receivers should be able to win some battles against elite corners, and it doesn't seem like he's been able to do that over the past 2 weeks. Right now, again, not worried about it, but the fact of the matter is, AJ, we need more, and we expect more, and we think you're going to give us more, and that's it. So let's dive into this next game, another quintessential trap game for the Titans, giving 10.5 points to the Texans at home. If I had some Dave Portnoy disposable income, I would throw my house on the Texans getting 10.5 points. This is a division game. As bad as they are, I mean, the only teams we really blow out are the good teams, ironically enough. All the
story of our lives with this team.
Yeah, all the average to mediocre teams are the ones where we gotta sweat it out. Now we win them now, so that's all that matters. But keys to victory when you face damn near close to worst team in the league, and Houston Texans next Sunday.
Don't keep them don't let them stay in the fucking game from the start. Put your foot on their throats, score fast, and get a lead and maintain the lead. Don't keep them around. Don't let anything dumb happen where, we get another silly interception or a call doesn't go our way and that 14-point game is now a 7-point game. Get up on them early, keep your foot on the gas, and fucking hang 35 plus on them and get out of there.
Yeah, this is the game where you want to fine tune the run game, like we were talking about before, and just keep pressuring the quarterback. Don't have them get into any rhythm. We have to start fast, because when we don't start fast, that's when we get in trouble. So I mean, I want to see the run game personally. I'm going to say it until it happens. I want the run game to get back to where it was. Give me 100 yards combined for all three of them. I don't care.
All you need.
I don't care. I just want to see the run game, more than 30 yards a game.
I want Deontay Foreman. I want him to touch the ball 15 times.
I want him to break one.
Yeah, I want to see what he could do with when you start giving him volume, because I liked him a lot at Texas. And now I think he was with Houston when he came out of college, I believe. And I think the kid's got ability. He's got some burst to him. Can get downhill, and I want to see him touch the ball 15 times and separate himself on that depth chart from AP. And
in my opinion, it's already happened. It already happened. So I mean,
he outtouched AP. I think it was 13-9, maybe. But I want to see him touch the ball 15 to 20 times and assert himself, because I believe he has the ability. And each back can have a role until our boy gets back, hopefully. Yeah. He could be our first and second down back. Peterson could be our goal line back. McNichols can come in on third down. But I want to see Deontay Foreman get rolling, because I think he has the ability.
Yeah, and this should be the game where they get the running game going. And like you said, he needs more touches, like you said, 100%. Ride the hot hand, because AP is still not getting comfortable in the system. You don't know that, but who knows when Henry comes back, if and when he comes back. Can you imagine having Derrick Henry and then as the breather, Adrian Peterson come in when he's up to speed with the offense and everything like that?
The only problem with that is somebody's going to have to go then. I don't know how you send McNichols down, and I don't know how you send Foreman down, and Lord knows. I don't think Adrian Peterson's going to be off this team till the season's over. So who? I don't know who you let go if we do happen to get Henry back. And
the thought did cross my mind though. If we had to let one go, as much as I might not want to say it, I could see them getting rid of Peterson.
No, they're not. They won't do it.
100% not.
The veteran presence, but I mean,
they won't do it. He's a Hall of Famer. They're not going to listen. They're
100%.
not doing it.
I hear you, but you just said one of them's going to have to go.
Okay, let me
maybe they'll take it from a different position.
One of the two got to go. Foreman or McNichols are got to go. There is, and frankly, I kind of agree that they shouldn't let Adrian Peterson go. He did them a solid coming out of retirement to be on this football team, no matter what his production is. He did them a solid, and to not give him a chance to win a Super Bowl would just not really be fair. I don't know how it works. I mean, I don't even know. Would he still get a ring if they won because he was on a roster at some point? I don't know how that works.
Well, 82 players are definitely going to get a ring if we ever win, because we got a lot of fucking people touching it right now.
That's a great question. I'd have to research. Are they going to? And obviously, we got to actually do it. And knock on wood, we do. What are they going to do? They get fucking 100 rings? They're going to have 100 rings out? Because
I don't give a fuck if I got to donate part of my salary to get all these players rings, as long as we win a fucking Super Bowl.
Just give me a fucking trophy.
Is what's his name? Corey Hart? What the fuck's his name?
Bobby Hart.
Is Bobby Hart getting a Super Bowl ring? That's a question.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, if he does, he probably is going to sell it because he's going to need that money. That's besides the point.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it with Henry coming back. But Jared said it while we were talking over each other. We can always let go of another position. And, I mean, we're going to need depth at that position regardless if Henry comes back, because we're going to need multiple hands to spell him at times. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But
Yeah, especially
Yeah, I'd like to see Foreman because since all three of them have been getting time, Foreman's been the best back, and it's not even really close. So I'd like to see him touch the ball 15, 20 times and, see what he could do.
yeah.
I just want to. I want to switch it. Well, you could touch on it too, but I want to switch the subject afterwards. I got something to talk about too. I want to get your guys' opinion on.
Yeah. The one thing about Foreman before we get into that is it's funny. I feel like every time he gets a hole outside of that one screen pass that he got, no, wait, that was Marcus Johnson. Never mind. I'm talking about last week. Anyway, anytime Foreman gets a hole, it looks like he's so excited that he gets a hole that his feet go a little too quick.
Yeah, he got the screen this week too. He got a screen for 36 yards.
That's right. He did. So we need, Foreman's got to settle down a little bit and let the ground get to his feet before he starts moving them. And I think we'll be all right. But I agree, Foreman should get more touches. Go ahead, Jared. We want to touch on.
All right, so we were talking about last week where we forgot to mention it in the podcast with the, MVP of the first quarter of the season. Guys, if Derrick Henry was healthy, this man would have a runaway case for the MVP.
Oh,
right now,
1,200 yards by now, 1,300 yards.
With that being said, in your opinion, right now, who is the MVP of the season so far? I mean, there's been a lot of poor play recently with Brady of the league, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of the league.
I mean, you could honestly say all the candidates have had shitty games. I mean, Allen was dog shit against Jacksonville. Murray's been hurt. Brady looked fucking bad yesterday.
No, that's what I'm saying. Henry, if he was healthy, this is a runaway.
Yeah. Honestly, Jared, I don't give a fuck who wins MVP. Not to sound like an asshole, but to answer your question, I'd probably go with Josh Allen.
Yeah, that seems like the safe bet.
Yeah, he's gonna. And listen, after last night, if Mahomes strings together a few of these fucking games, you know how biased the NFL is towards him.
Yeah,
respectively so, because he is that talented. But if he has another game where he throws 10 touchdowns in 2 games with no interceptions, his odds will fucking drop because he's going to be a favorite. But that's the beauty of the NFL, though. There's so much parity. Unless you're Tom Brady and you win 7 Super Bowls, but I mean, especially this year, you can make a case for us, for Tampa, for Dallas, for Green Bay, who Rodgers can be an MVP candidate. They showed how much they needed him. Look how bad they looked last week. But Buffalo, New England's starting to look scary, which worries me a little bit.
Yeah, their defense is real tough.
There's so many teams out there that you can make a case for, but that's the beauty of the NFL. And as far as MVP, Derrick Henry's always my MVP, but I'd go Josh Allen.
Yeah, I have to agree. Another thing too, not to stir the pot, but we don't know how Derrick Henry would have done these last 2 weeks. Let's just be honest. All right, the Rams and the Saints have good defenses. Yeah, if he was healthy, yeah. But I'm just saying, just being devil's advocate here. And I agree, Jared. He would certainly be in the discussion. All right, because the law of averages state that he would have been close to 2,000 yards regardless.
Yeah.
But we don't know how he would have done if he was healthy. You know what I mean? He had a pretty bad game. His last 2 games before getting hurt weren't that great. All right, let's just be honest. He's still the king. He's still the best running back in the league.
That foot might have been broken for a week.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? We don't know what caused it. If it was Indy, if it happened when he got those fucking 6 extra carries at the end of the KC game. So he might have not been 100% those 2 games. I'm not holding that against him.
I'm not either. I'm just, just speaking out loud, realistically, before he got hurt, didn't have the best couple of weeks. We faced 2 really good run defenses the past 2 weeks. How does that factor in? I don't know. But regardless, he would have been in this situation. As far as my answer, yeah, I'd have to agree with Vin. Josh Allen's the safest bet, but it's wide open right now. Wide open. I mean, Lamar Jackson could start. He was playing pretty damn well before Miami. If he starts stringing together some more wins, they're still in the mix for the AFC first seed, unfortunately, but we think we'll handle our business. Mahomes is slinging it again. I think you could just throw Aaron Rodgers in there as well because of how good Green Bay's playing. There's definitely candidates. If they can get Murray back anytime soon, I don't know. There's a lot of injuries too. So who gets the advantages based on playing the most games, we'll see.
I
But,
think the better question is, Jared, considering I think we have two candidates for this award, who's the defensive player of the year right now? I think it's, obviously Diggs is doing the thing in Dallas, but you can make an argument for KB. I'm not going to say his first name and fucking try and accidentally fuck it up. Will redeem myself, though, and say Jeffrey Simmons has emerged as a potential candidate for that award, obviously. So we have two players on our team, on our defense that at the end of the day, I think Bayard could really be there at the end of the year, more than Simmons. But I mean, we have two players on our team that could be defensive player of the year right now, which is, just a testament to how much talent this team actually has.
100%. I mean, I agree with you on that, but the media and everybody else loves big names, and Myles Garrett leading the league with sacks with 12. But you know what? The defensive, I'm not being biased at all, but the defensive MVP so far being the front running, in my opinion, is Simmons. The guy's got how many sacks now? Seven and a half sacks now. And he's literally him and Autry are literally wreaking havoc at the line of scrimmage and bullying the line. We have 9 sacks in the last 6 games, which I haven't seen that since the early 2000s.
Kyle Vanden Bosch,
Carl Klug, and all those guys. I mean, it's crazy to even think that right now. But
yeah.
Hey man, we'll see. We'll see.
We also have not to mention we also have how many three guys in the top 6 of total pressures in the whole year. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jeffrey Simmons isn't going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
No, he's not. But that's why I say I'm being biased.
Yeah, he is just absolutely changed the identity.
But when they nominate players at the end of the year, they nominate 4 or 5 of them. He could be a nominee for that award.
He's not. That's my opinion.
Not? If he finishes the season with 13, 14 sacks.
Finishes strong.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can possibly, but I don't. There's still going to be. I still don't think he's going to end the season with the most sacks in the NFL. And if there's a player that has more sacks than him, they'll probably get the nod as a nomination over him because there's a lot of great defensive players in this league. But the bottom line is Simmons is changed the culture of this football team, and we love him to death, and we're so excited to continue to see him play. And 100% Kevin Byard should be in the conversation because to be able to get the turnovers he's getting as a safety is just amazing. And he's done such a 180 from last year. We've all called him out since his play last year, and he's answered the bell with flying colors. So great to see him back to his old form and continuing to improve. And I think we should put a bow on this. We're about 50 in, and again, winning has become the norm for us now. So all we can do is continue to move forward and continue to expect to win. This week should be no different. And then once this week's over, assuming that we handle our business, we get into a real fun matchup down in the Boston area. So we'll get into that next week. Anything else you fellas want to add before we close shop for the night?
We're going to bet the Titans this week because you did cold. And there's nothing against you, but, I'll lay 10 to the fucking Houston Texans with Davis Mills or what's his name back yet?
No, Tyrod's back. Yeah, he should be playing.
Tyrod, shit.
Yeah.
I'm not laying that.
Nah, I'm only breaking them, but no, honestly, take care of business this week. 9-2. Never thought I'd see it. We haven't had. When's the last time when we went 13-3? Is the last time we
2008.
Yeah, that fluky ass year with Kerry Collins. But take care of business. 9-2, maintain that lead in the division, and get healthy, man. Say a prayer for Bud Dupree, and hope that he's all right. That Luan, finishes a game this week, and I'll continue to hate on him next week.
Yep, that's it. Stay hydrated, Mr. Luan. All right, we are going to close up for today. As always, no matter what you're listening, no matter where you're listening this to, whether it be YouTube, podcast channel, so on and so forth, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're going to continue to grow. We're trying to do big things in this space, and we need all the help we can get. So help us the best you can, and we will see you next week. As always, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Peace.